Hello, everybody. I hope this is going to start pinging through, that I'm now live and ready to talk to you about the new book that I've just launched. I'm going to give it a few minutes and I'm just going to waffle while I'm waiting for anyone to hopefully join us. Let's have a look and see if we've got 3 people so far. Wonderful. So I'll start talking now because it's 7:30 and I said I would be on around now. I'm just checking. I have to check on my phone if there's been any questions because I can't see them on here. I can't see any if on the system that I'm using. If you just say hello, I can't see your name, I'm afraid. So if you've just said hello or evening or hi Penny, can you let me know who you are so I can give you a shout out if that's all right? Because it doesn't show me your name. And this is the first time I've used StreamYard, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure how to actually look at some of the. Okay, so I think Dennis is one of the people who said hello. Tanith is there. Jeanette is there, if that's right. Hi guys, thank you for coming along. So what I thought, if you can share this out as well to any of your groups, see if anyone else wants to join in, that would be great. So what I thought I would do, seeing as I've just launched my new book, my favourite Black Country. Yeah, I just looked on Facebook because that shows me the names, but not on here, unfortunately. So if you do ask a question, say who it is asking. So my new book, this is my copy. Hi, Mark. I can see your name. This is my new book that I've just launched called Paranormal Playtime, The School That Never Sleeps. And the reason I'm going to do a sort of 15, 20 minutes talking about the book, why I wrote it, why you should buy it. It's I've got to look on Facebook to see who the names are. People are commenting. Sorry. I'm so sorry. This is really, yeah. So, Evil Queen. Hi, Kerry. Thank you so much for joining. Great to hear from you. See, things are going well. That's Kerry from the Paranormal Concept Show. See that we're all friends in this biz. We're all friends. We all support each other. Vivian's there. Paul, Lee, Pete. No sound because you're teaching Spanish. Hola, ¿qué tal? Yeah, that's about the extent of my Spanish unless I look it up. So Richard, I've got loads of you on there. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Right. First things first. I also want to wish my good friend Barry Guy a happy birthday today. It's his birthday today. And it's quite fortuitous, really, that I'm doing this live and it's his birthday because you probably can't see, but at the bottom of the book, whoops, let me get it right to the camera here. The bottom of the book, the foreword is by the wonderful Mr. Barry Guy. So, yes, happy birthday, Barry. Hope you're having a lovely day. One of my son's teachers has even checked in to say hello. Hi. Wow, it's brilliant. Anyway, so where was I? So that's first thing to tell you. Yeah, so this book, it's written about a place called the British Schools Museum in Hitchen. Now, I know a few of you have been there and a few of you know it, and a few of you were due to go there before the lockdown. And yeah, hopefully you'll all get to visit it if you've signed up. Mark, he's an old man. He's not as old as me, Mark. There you go. So hopefully those of you who'd signed up to go will be getting to go imminently, because I know that as soon as lockdown is over, they want to open those doors again and get the visitors back in. However, back in September 2019, gosh, seems so long ago, I was invited to go and investigate it with the wonderful ladies from the Paranormal Sisters. So Lisa, Joe, Sam, Lucy, and all of those guys. And the place blew me away. It's stunning. It's a lot more than you actually see from the road. So what I want to do is give a bit of a plug out to the school. I am going to mention the school's website as well, if anyone does want to go and visit. In fact, I'm going to mention that a few times. Obviously, my website, you can see along the bottom of this here. But if you do want to go and visit the school at any time, when it is actually open, and it's very easy to find, it's pretty much in the centre of Hitchen, bang opposite Asda, if you get hungry. Yeah, bang opposite Asda. Their website is the britishschoolsmuseum.co.uk. So very easy to remember, britishschoolsmuseum.co.uk. Now, I'm not going to spoil everything and read everything that's actually in the book, because otherwise you won't buy it, will you? So I'm just going to read you a few little bits and give you a few sort of tidbits. Yeah, tidbits of the book. Right, so back in September 2019, I got to go and investigate there with the girls from the Paranormal Sisters, and it was a wonderful evening. I got to meet some amazing people and had some fantastic experiences, which I can honestly say I'd never had before. Now, this school was built in the early 1800s, and it was built due to under someone's theory, if you like, called Joseph Lancaster, who operated something called the Lancasterian Method. Now, what this was, and for anyone who's a teacher who's actually listening, he devised this method to teach poor children, because a lot of poor children couldn't afford to go to school. It cost money back then. It didn't become free till much, much later. And he devised this method where if you had a large class of children, the most expensive thing tended to be the teacher. So what they would do, they'd do something called the Monitorial Method, where they'd have a group of, say, 300 children. Yes, 300. And I must admit, I was telling one of my son's teachers this. They were quite freaked out by the thought of having one adult for 300 children. And then they'd have them divided into rows, and each row would have a monitor teaching them. What people don't realise, I mean, actually, I'll ask it in the comments here. Just tell me, do you think Hitchen is quite a nice place, posh place? Or do you think it was once a very poor place? Tell me what you think, because it was actually somewhere that needed this kind of support, which I was quite surprised about. So does anyone say Hitchen, poor or quite well off? Go. Waiting to see it come in the comments. Trying to do this interactive thing. Hitchen, poor or well off? Bear in mind it's in Hertfordshire. Hi, Gary. Both. Oh, Mark, that's called sitting on the fence. Your bum must be numb from that one. Come on. Someone say poor or well off? Poor. All right. Did Barry let you read the book before he wrote the foreword? Yes, Hitchen was actually incredibly poor, which a lot of people are quite surprised about, because, it was a very poor place. It actually, the street that the school is on is now called Queen Street, but originally it was called Dead Street. That lovely, yes. And the reason it was called Dead Street was because the rumour has it that during one of the plagues, one of the early plagues, not the famous ones, but one of the early ones, it actually had literally dead people lining the street. Pretty gory, really, if you think about it. But so you've got this, it was actually the Black Death back in 1349. Oh, you've had a tour there. All right, you're cheating then, Mark. You've got insider knowledge. So what was I going to say? Oh, and if I don't say hello to you, if you've put your name up, please don't take it personally. The system we're using, it doesn't show the people's names. I'm having to look at my phone to see who's coming through to say hello. So I think Sarah Jane's, SJ's come in. Who else have I missed? Nigel's watching. Thank you, Nigel. Please remember to keep sharing this so that we get a few more people in. I don't think I've missed any. If I've missed anyone else, I'm sorry who said hello, but I say I can't see on this system. I have to keep looking to my phone, which is so unprofessional. I need 2 screens. Thank you, Gary, by the way. So where was I? So yes, it was a very poor area. And I do talk about that in the book. The book, anyone who's read my other 2 books or reads the work that I do, how rude. Yes, sorry, Lisa. Sorry, yeah, I figured it would be you. Yeah, I guess. There was about 2 or 3 people it could have been, and you were one of them. Rude. I'm doing my best here. I'm on my own. Anyway, so they had a very, very large poor community. There was a very agricultural community, so a lot of children were expected to work in the fields at harvest time, would be straw platters to make hats and things. And what I thought I would do in the book was to give you a bit of a sense of what the area was actually like, rather than just talking purely about the school. It was to give you an idea of why the school actually needed this kind of provision. They did have other types of schools, and if you want to know more about the types of schools that were for the poor, that were sort of subsidised, head on over to my YouTube channel, Haunted History, excuse me, and have a look at the couple of the schools presentations I've done on there if you want to learn more. So I decided to cover all of that in the book. So there is history on the school, there's history on the area, and there's also a few sort of gruesome tales. But let me read you the first bit of the book, the introduction. I'd wanted to visit this place for a very long time. It spoke to nearly every one of my yesteryear buttons that could be pushed. All that would be needed was a workhouse and an airfield in close proximity, and I would have been in historical heaven. Actually, the old Hitchen workhouse was only about 2/3 of a kilometre away, which was logical considering that this was once the slum area of the town. And that's true. It was. That part of Hitchen was classed as the slum. And you'll see next door, there's a place called Jeeves Yard. Well, the yards were actually almost like the back streets of the area, and there was loads of them. And actually that's where, if you like, a lot of the crimes were committed. And I mentioned some of those in here as well for you. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky? I mentioned those in here as well. So there was actually a couple of murders, well-known murders, and one was a lady by the name of Maria Bryce, who was charged with murdering her husband with poison. Yeah, she was found to, she was found not guilty, basically. But I talk about that in there as well for you. So you have a murder story as well. So I'm trying to put lots of different things in, as well as, thank you, Lisa, by the way, a lot of different things in there for you, other than just the basic history about the school. But it is somewhere that I really should go and visit, the British Schools Museum.co.uk. Like I said, it's actually shut at the moment, like everything is, but they will be reopening, and they're very, very keen on the paranormal there. They're very, very keen on paranormal investigations and the such like. Now, what I thought I would also do for you, because I don't want to rabbit on for too long, is show you a few photos and explain to you a bit about them. So if let me see, sorry, I'm just going to share a photo for you. Right. For those of you who've not seen what the school looks like, and hopefully you can still hear me, this is basically the front of the school. Now, a lot of paranormal groups who look at it think it's not very big, but you can just about see, if you look on the right-hand side of the photo, what looks like a window at the side, just behind where those bricked up windows are. It goes further back than that. The complex itself is huge, and I'm sure anyone who's been there would be able to attest to that. What you've got at the front there, where there's those people standing out the front, that would have been one of the entrances. Now, that building was actually built in the 1850s, and it replaced the original building that was a malt house that succumbed to fire in the 1840s, but they sort of repaired it and left it until much later. The the building that you see that's got the boarded up window, and then there's you can see the blue plaque as well. Those were the houses. Those were where the master and the mistress of the school would have lived, because it wasn't just a boys' school. It was an infant school and a girls' school and a boys' school. So you would have needed a master and a mistress. So that's just some of the site for you. Another photo that I want to show you is, I mentioned the monitorial system. Well, this was what they call, and is, the only surviving monitorial classroom, I believe, in the UK. Now, the British and foreign schools were actually all over the place. They're all over the world, and still are, to be honest. But this is the last surviving Lancasterian classroom in the UK. And this would have been designed for those 300 children, all sat in rows, And I say, just anyone who's been homeschooling, I think the thought of trying to actually teach 300 children like mine brings me out, well, makes me grayer than I already am and brings me out in a cold sweat. So I do applaud the people who took that on. But I'm not going to tell you all the experiences I had there, because then, again, why would you buy the book? But I'm going to tell you about one, and this is one that still, well, quite a few of them there resonate, but this one is still one that I have very, very strongly, if you like, in my mind. Now, it just looks like a window, doesn't it? It's just a window. Why am I showing you the picture of the window? There's nothing spooky in the window. It's nothing, I'm not going to draw a big red circle around it and say, look at here, whoa. No. What actually happened was that first time I investigated it with the Paranormal Sisters, I didn't know I could park where they'd parked. So I'd gone slightly up the road where there's a pay and display that incidentally is free in the evening. So don't let that put you off going. And I'd walked back to the school to try and find everyone, and I didn't know anyone. I couldn't hear any sound. I didn't know where everyone had gone. So this is actually one of the houses. This would have been the mistress's house. And that window didn't have a blind down on it. And it was starting to get a bit dark. It was sort of, dusk sort of time. And I saw someone moving around in that room. And the only way I can describe it is it looked like a woman. It did look like a woman that was sort of bent over, I suppose you could say. And I'm just going to stop sharing for a second because I don't know if people can see this actual photo. But yeah, so it looked like a woman who was bent over. Let me reshare the photo for you there. Let me reshare this one. Right, hopefully you can all see this photo now. The photo of the window. So it looked like someone was kind of bent over, and I don't know if you know the sort of style I mean, but the pompadour hairstyle where their hair's all on top of their face and head in sort of a knot at the top of their head. And I thought, oh, maybe that's a member of staff, because it said that it was owned by the school. And just to the, as we're looking at this photo, just to the right is a big sort of front door. And I tried the door and it was open. And I walked straight in. There's another door to there's a stairway going up, and then there's a door to your right, and then a door to your left. I tried the door on my right, and that was shut. I tried the door on my left, which had one of those key coder things to lock it, wide open. And I walked in, realised I was in someone's office, came back out again, a bit sort of, oh dear, I don't want to have upset anyone. Came back out, pulled the doors to, and ended up finding where everyone was, and they were in the main school building. Afterwards, because I'd seen someone in that window, I had seen someone bending over, moving around the room as if they were looking for something. And when I spoke to the then manager about it, he was quite concerned, because he said, well, and I didn't know what this room was at the time. I have to say, I didn't know this was the mistress's house. He was quite concerned because he goes, well, that's where our offices are. That door's locked. It's always locked. It can't not be unlocked. And I was like, no, it was wide open. I just shut it behind me. I thought I should tell you that it was open. And we went back there. Now, nobody else had been in there. Guess what? We couldn't get in. The door was locked tight. I don't know, but that was one that still resonates with me now. And I haven't got to investigate the mistress's house, because that is where the school keep all their that is where their offices are for the staff who work there. But I do know that the master's house is very, very active from my experience, and from the people who kindly contributed to the book. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that, did I? Lots of contributions to the book. We've got Phil Maisie from who works with Barry at GPS. We've got Danny Neville. We've got Denise Davies. We've got, who else have we got? Pete from Paracom. Oh, crumbs. There were some others as well who I'm probably going to be really in trouble that I can't remember, but loads of contributions. And also lots of help from the trustees themselves and the head trustee, the lovely Denise. She contributed a few bits as well. So you've got lots in there to read. It's hopefully you'd enjoy it. Everyone I know who's read it so far enjoyed it. And yeah, that's just one of the stories that I could tell. Just one. Yes, his name was Sam Mark, but he's not there anymore. So I tend to call him the former one, just to be politically correct. So yeah, that's it. And there's all this sort of stuff in here if you want to get a copy. Now, if you do want a copy, you can get it on Amazon. It is available now in Kindle or hard copy format, obviously not with the grey not for resale across. I did notice on Facebook today that the lovely Lorian, who I believe is watching, she got her copy today. Don't know if she's read it yet, but she got her copy today. But if you do want a signed copy directly from me, I will be doing those. What I will say is if you could drop me an email with your contact details, your email details, I'm going to create a mailing list for those people who've provisionally ordered one. I don't want any money at the moment. It's going to be £10 for the book plus postage and packaging, which, and obviously I'll sign it with whatever you want it signed to. But if you do want a copy, if you could email me at hauntedhistories@virginmedia.com. That's hauntedhistories@virginmedia.com. I will put your name on the list, and as soon as I have my stock through from Amazon, I will be in touch, and we're sorting out the old filthy lucre and all that to pay for it. So it's £10, but just email me your contact details at hauntedhistories@virginmedia.com. Right, I think that's about it. The only other two things I want to say is thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to have a look at the new Hedy Lamarr little history nibble that I put on that's on YouTube, all about Hedy Lamarr, and it's got a really good video at the end of it. It's got a very good message in it, so watch that. Have a listen to the new podcast that I've done all about the Mar Barker ghost. God, that Boney M song's in my head. And let me know if you think she really was public enemy number one, or whether she was whether she was manipulated, because her demise was, well, all of them. But have a listen and let me know what you think. But thank you so much for supporting Haunted Histories. Say if you do want a copy of the book, email hauntedhistories@virginmedia.com, and I'm sure I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.